Hello folks and welcome to another ice video. We're gonna be playing a little bit of a brew that I put together here in Modern. And I basically put this deck together based around the Pioneer version of this deck. Aspiring Spike, one of my favorite streamers of course, he had been playing Mono Green Devotion and he actually qualified for the previous Pro Tour, like whichever one happened now, or whatever name the Pro Tours have now. And he qualified by playing Mono Green Devotion. So basically what I did is I just copied and pasted his list onto Modern and then made some adaptations. Land of Abundance is actually banned in Pioneer, so we see it making a comeback here. And because we are playing Land of Abundance, we are playing a bunch of Mana Dorks. I actually tried a different list running Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf. So I was running that package, but it was a little bit weird with the leyline. So here, with this list, we're just going all in with the Dorks, and we're just making sure that we're maximizing the leyline. So we have 4 Birds of Paradise, 4 Elvish Mystics, 4 Llanowar Elves, and 3 Devoted Druid. If you have a leyline in play, Devoted Druid basically represents 4 mana just by itself, because you can put a counter in it, so it's pretty strong. You can also use Dryad Arbor to go with your Land of Abundance, which also gets pumped, so you have a build your own Ancient Tomb of sorts, I guess. Then we have a Llanowar Visionary as the last Mana Dork, though it's not, I guess it's not really Mana Dork. What even is this? Anyway, whatever. The threats are 4 Karn the Great Creators, 4 Nissa who shakes the world, 2 Walking Ballistas, 1 Genesis Hydra, and then we can fetch for any of these using Primal Command. The creatures, I mean, of course, not the Planeswalkers. Primal Command, I think it's a very, very powerful card in the format. The gaining 7 life is very interesting because you can choose who gains the life. So against the Shadow, Primal Command is kind of a house. The second mode, which is put a permanent, a non-creature permanent on top of the deck, can allow you to, get out of sticky situations, including stuff like Clothis or Ashiok, like stuff that we otherwise have a tough time dealing with. And then you have the target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Very, very good against stuff like Dredge, for example, where you can just make them shuffle their entire deck back in. Or oddly enough against Mill, where you can just target yourself. Like all of this, you just get to choose the target. So there's a lot of flexibility with Primal Command. And finally, the last mode is to go search for a creature and put it in your hand. Genesis Hydra is like the weakest one of them all, and I'm playing it mostly for fun / kind of try to see what's up. We could play something like a Primeval Titan. We see other gargoyles in the side, but we could play some of that in the main deck. Like we could play more Ballistas. Like Ballista is kind of like the main threat that we have access to. Then we have Eternal Witness, which is a very nice loop with Primal Command. You can put like, usually what happens is you make a ton of mana and then you put their land on top of their deck. So you basically blank their next draw step. You fetch for Eternal Witness with the Primal Command. You play Eternal Witness, you get back your Primal Command, you do the same thing again, fetching for the other Eternal Witness, and you kind of time walk your opponent a couple of times. The other one of that we can get with Primal Command is Scavenginus. Again, this is a very preliminary list. Like I only played 1 league with a list that looked maybe a little bit more. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It looked a little bit more like this. So you see that I was trying out Vivian, I was playing the Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl package, I was playing Burning Tree Emissary, which was pretty disappointing. That's why I cut them. So this is like my second shot at trying this shell. I played only 1 league with that deck and I still went 3-2, which gives me a little bit of hope that maybe there's something to this, which could be interesting. And we'll see how it goes. Like this kind of shell have been tried in the format before, but the main thing that has changed is how powerful this card is right now, right? Like we are seeing it basically being stuck in Amulet right now. Actually top 8 at the showcase qualifier, which was a huge event this past weekend with Karn Amulet, and Karn was instrumental in my victory because it basically fixes a lot of issues, right? Like up the curve, you're trying like Amulet, a deck like Amulet or this deck don't have the easiest time interacting because you're just kind of doing your thing. But Karn just interacts the correct way against a bunch of different decks. So against decks like Ad Nauseam, against decks like Upo Spells, Belcher, against Hammer Time, against all of those decks, you just play a Karn, and like a big part of their strategy involves some form of artifacts doing something, or it involves the graveyard, and then you can play your Karn and immediately get a Tormod script. Or it involves activating something like the Spike Feeder combo from Green White Helios, for example, and you can Pity Needle Spike Feeder. You can, against Storm and stuff, you can use Damping Sphere. You can just start going after the lands using Liquid Metal Coating, using the combo of Karn plus Liquid Metal Coating. The way that this works is you turn the land into an artifact, then you plus, using Karn's ability, and the land becomes a 0/0 because it has converted mana cost equals to 0, so it just dies. So basically you get one free Storm Rain every turn. If you're playing against a creature deck, you get a Snare Bridge, which is pretty nice. They can't attack you anymore, and then you just win through Walking Ballista pings. Wormcrawl Engine as a threat, basically, that we can fetch. Very, very good against decks like Burn or stuff like that. And finally, another copy of Walking Ballista. This is basically as an alternative win condition or something that can ping stuff like spirits, humans, like things like that. The rest of the sideboard includes Blood Moon against opposing ramp decks as well, including Tron as well. Veil of Summer against discard spell decks or against control decks, decks with counter magic. Force of Vigor, mostly because of the popularity of Hammer Time right now. That deck is very, very popular. It's also pretty solid against stuff like Belcher and, nonsense like that. Oops, all spells, Ad Nauseam, as I was saying earlier. And then Elder Gargaroth against the aggressive strategies. So this is kind of where I am at right now. This is something that I wanted to try. I'm not sure that this list is very well tuned because it's not. I played 5 matches total with the deck, and it was with a completely different list that I just showed you. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to take it through a league, and hopefully we do some winning. See you there. All right, here we are for round number 1. We're kept with a Leyline hand with no lands. We're playing against Antoine, which is I think he's from France, if I'm not mistaken, and he's very well known for playing, doing consistently very, very well with decks based around Collected Company and Aether Vial and creatures like that. So we're gonna see what Antoine is up to over there. Oh man, can you imagine if we had access to this Leyline on turn 0? It would be in very good shape, I'll tell you that much. We're gonna get to play Karn now, which is not bad. Deputy of Detention, oh, Skyclave Apparition. So I think I'm just gonna play Karn here. My opponent has Apparitions, so we're not gonna be able to protect it. Oh, okay. So I guess they have Force of Negation, pitching Cryptic Command. Oh, because they're missing land drops, that's why. So they seem to be playing some form of Ephemerate deck, I would say. Like, it's possible my opponent's not playing Ephemerate, but I kind of doubt that they're not playing Ephemerate. Okay, so we're going to put target permanent on top of its owner's library, and we're going to search my library for a creature. So we're hoping to time walk them here. Another force. Familiar's Ruse. Yeah, this is San Antoine card, I'll tell you that much. So as an additional cost to cast this, you have to return a creature to its owner's hand. And then it's blue counterspell, so pretty sweet. Okay, show me another Cryptic or like whatever you got, Antoine. Nissa also works very well with Leyline. Oh, they have it? Oh, they're drawing. Okay. They want a luck sack. They have to luck sack into a Cryptic Command. No way they found it. Brutal. Wow, they found the Familiar's Ruse. Now they're gonna blink the apparition, killing my Llanowar elf. Ugh. They have the wall, so they can replay that too. Wow, such a beating. The couple of vials on turn 5. Yeah, we're not looking very good here. Not looking very good. My opponent had that one window. Like, they have double force. They needed to be exactly forced twice too. And then they had a one shot. They had a one shot at trying to do the thing and find the counter spell, and they did. I didn't chomp that previous turn because like we're playing a deck with Planeswalker, so this guy can potentially protect a walker down the line, so I consider that could be important. So this taps for 3 mana now. This taps for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna chomp this time around though, because my opponent probably has like Ice Fang Quaddle, so I don't want to be dead to like a single attack of an Ice Fang. It's pretty good. That is a pretty good top deck. Another Familiar's Ruse? You have to be kidding me. Okay. I have been bested. I have been bested. Okay, so we're definitely bringing in the Veils. And I guess Gargaroth's pretty solid. Scavenging Ooze can go. Doesn't seem like my opponent has too much removal for my creature. Oh, they have Apparition. So I guess if Apparition, if there is their form of removal, then Gargaroth makes a lot of sense. Same with Nissa. Wait, does Skyclave exile in Nissa lands? It has to say no land, right? It just has to say no land. There's no way it doesn't say no land. There it is. Non-token permanent. Oh, non-land, non-token. Okay, cool. Oof. Okay, so Apparition cannot get rid of my Nissa land, so that's important. Walking Ballista sounds very good in this matchup. I think that I'm gonna cut one of each elf. Just gonna set up to play the longer game. Maybe just one Gargaroth. I think I value the Veil a little bit more than I value the Gargaroth. What do we got here? Not a good hand is what we got here. This hand's pretty solid though. Okay, we're gonna keep this, and I guess we're gonna bottom this Stomping Ground. It is obviously awful if we it is obviously awful if we excuse me, if we find another Nykthos is what I meant to say. So we're gonna do Devoted Druid. I'm gonna play a Oath of Nissa, finding another land. The mana base is very simple, like nothing crazy going on there, so finding like a green source or anything just doesn't, the fetch land that you find or anything doesn't really matter too much. 1, 2, 3. So Nykthos is currently not netting mana, but what I can do is I can Primal Command, or I can Genesis Hydra for 3. Puts a 3/3 into play. 4 is the sweet spot for Genesis Hydra though. Like at that point I'm able to get like Karns and Leylines into play, which would be pretty solid. Alternatively, I can just Primal Command. I think I'm gonna Primal Command. We're gonna search for a non-creature permanent double in Stone Library, and we're gonna search for a creature. And the goal here is to go get Walking Ballista. We also have Veil of Summer. Never mind. So my opponent is also playing Time Walk over there. My opponent is also playing Time Walk, and they're playing Mystic Sanctuary. Yeesh, in their Vile deck? Well, I'm not so sure about that, Chief. Oh. So now we're gonna do the same thing we just did. We have a Gust in hand. Gust obviously doesn't do too much against Walking Ballista, which is good for us. Their draw step was the Hallowed Fountain. I think I'm making the Ballista 2-2 unless I draw land. If I draw land, well, I obviously missed that. That sucks. I was f6th. I would have obviously veiled the Aether Gust. Sure. Another Eternal Witness. I think I'm still killing these dudes. Pretty big mistake there, though. I guess I'm not gonna do anything with this Ballista for now, because my opponent could have Ephemerate, so I can fizzle the Ephemerate using the Ballista, and I kind of don't have to do anything here. I could block, trade the Elf for the Eternal Witness. Kind of makes me think that they have another Ewit, and they want me to kill the one of the witnesses. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Of course, like, this is the downfall of the Nykthos. Yeah, not stopping that Gust with the Veil is gonna cost me. That really sucks. That was a bad time to make that misplay right there. We could Hydra for 4. I think that we're just gonna pass the turn. Just put a counter on Ballista. Probably on their upkeep. Seems like the best time to do that. Mystic Sanctuary is really greedy in their deck. I think Quaddle. Let's put a counter now. Let's kill this now. Sure. Another Ice Fang. It's a lot of snakes. Of one mind. All right, my opponent's deck is just pure and awesome spice. I think we're getting to a point where I just have to cycle this Veil of Summer. I'm just not doing anything. I need the card. Apparition. Brutal. Okay. Wither Vial. That is very bad for obvious reasons. So I guess I'm gonna... We have to Karn for Snare and Bridge, I guess. Which is a terrible prospect in the face of a Skyclave Operation, but it seems like it's what I have to do. They can clear the Karn here if they want to. Oh man, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. They're just going face with everything. Well, that's very bad news. That is very bad news. Okay, so I guess change your plans now. We're at 1. So I guess we pivot and we minus for Ballista and we can block here, ping ping. We can't beat anything. Like we can't beat absolutely anything at all. So we're just gonna pivot and do this. Play another Nykthos, which doesn't do anything. Just so we can get it out of our hand so we can actually get rid of the cards. We lose to Ephemerate, we lose to Cryptic Command, we lose to a removal spell on this Walking Ballista, we lose to basically everything. We lose to basically everything. Udo. Okay. Pretty forced play. Ping there. Ping there. Oh man. All of this Nykthos that I drew coming back to bite me. Yeah, okay. Oh, I guess I knew about the other gust, never mind. I guess I was just dead there. That was rough. That was really rough. I feel like the deck really did not cooperate with me whatsoever. We put ourselves in very awkward situations. And it was definitely like the fact that I was X6 and my opponent gusted my Devoted Druid instead of being able to Veil. Like that was the game-breaking point of the game. I think that I had a somewhat realistic shot at winning if I had been able to just do that, but I just was up 6. I honestly wasn't thinking about my opponent just main-facing Gust on the Devoted Druid. I think that was obviously a game-losing mistake right there. We just could not come back from the tempo loss. That was close though, and my opponent's deck looked fun. My opponent's deck looked a lot of fun. Like I mean, of one mind, right? Like that's just hot right there. See you for the next round. Welcome to round number 2. Here we are with Mono Green Devotion. Sure, Sand seems fine. Turn 1 Dork. Turn 2 Dork, and we have a Nykthos. We're probably going to... I guess I have no idea what I'm doing just yet. So let's just play a Llanowar Elf. Just play this, and I guess I'm just gonna swing with this guy. So lane is our best draw far and away. Oh, I guess my opponent F6 through their turn. Yikes. That sucks. Not how I expected that game to go. My opponent's playing blue, so I guess I'm adding Veil of Summers. Veil of Bummer. Probably cut the Ballista, maybe Bird of Paradise. Like, the only thing that we saw was Island, right? So we have no idea what our opponent's doing, so I'm just going to kind of hedge a little bit. Sand has mana, but nothing else. It's pretty bad. I guess this is better. We're on the draw. Sure. Just bottom the redundant Nissa. My opponent goes to 5. I mean, if we find lands, this hand's pretty damn good. So all we have to do is find land. Oh. Well, my sideboarding sucks. My sideboarding is obviously absolute trash. If we draw land, we might just be okay, though. Taking 3. Land. Hell yeah. So now we can double spell here, which is great. Play a birdie. Play a scoos. Pass the turn. Man, when your opponent goes turn 1 island go, I don't think the humans would have ever been in my radar. Well, so their dudes are big now. Would love to see a land. A lot of word visionary. What am I doing here? My opponent's trying to aggro me out. I think I'm just going to do this. Try to spike a land. No land, which is unfortunate. They can't attack with the Kudro. Hopefully we get to cycle this Veil. I mean, out of all the ways of cycling the Veil, that's the worst. So that's the one that also kills us. So I guess my opponent's strategy of just like packing it in immediately ended up working out for them. Yeah, so we just have to do like a bunch of forced chomps. Like this is just not a winning proposition anymore. Okay, now we can sideboard properly. Blood Moon on the play is interesting. They play no fetches, so we can definitely cheese out a win. We can definitely cheese out a win with a Blood Moon. I think I'd rather have stuff that impacts the board. I mean, that's they do play Magus in their deck, right? But we do get to... Oh, so I guess Magus... Blood Moon plus Karn thus kind of lock them out. I'm on the play? Okay. Okay, let's gamble. Let's gamble a little bit. I guess I'm not going all in, but like... Let's gamble a little bit. Let's see what's up. So, let's cut an Eternal Witness. Maybe a Nissa? Like, I'd probably rather have Guardrails than Nissa. Let's actually do Primal Command. Yeah, let's do this. Interesting. Let's keep this. This is a turn 2 Karn. Nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at. This is really powerful. We finally had the nut draw, if I may. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yep, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. This is what's happening. I think I'm going with coding here. Like, there's just no way that I don't start blowing up their lands. Oh my. This is a delight. This is a delight. Easy clap. Easy clap. Well, that was strong. My opponent shows me their hand with double Aether Vial and no other land. Yep. Not an early concession from them. Not an early concession at all. Alright, see you for round number 3. Hopefully we get to do more of this. I like this. This sounds good to me. Hello and welcome to round number 3. Here we are once again. Sure, let's keep this one. Turn 1 dork, turn 2 dork dork, turn 3 big ballista, hopefully. Sounds pretty alright to me. Hopefully we're not playing against the deck that has like sweepers and stuff. Or Ren and 6. Oof. I'm just getting the chills just thinking about getting Ren. That's so much worse. Oh, we drew a dead card. A vomit. Yeah, this is like the... This is obviously the downside of playing a deck filled with mana dorks, right? Like, Lavadar just owns you. Lavadar just completely owns you. Yep. We're probably gonna be packing it in sooner rather than later. There's a dork. There's another dork. There's this. Here we go. Things are not looking good here, folks. Things are not looking good. I feel like if they have any removal spell for this, I'm just gonna concede. Manamorphose, also bad for me. Basically everything is just bad for me. Do I have outs? Like say that my opponent doesn't Lavadart one of these elves. We go down to what? 11 if they ping. Down to 11. We untap with 5 mana. Yeah, seems like that one's not gonna do it. We could kill one of these Swift Spears. I think that I'd rather just not show my opponent what I'm playing. Make them think that I'm playing elves or something. Definitely want big Gargs. And we go with that and we call it a day. We definitely have to just get lucky. Hopefully my opponent doesn't draw the Lava Darts. Of course, the Utopia Sprawl engine significantly better against Lavadart.deck than you know, Manadork.deck. So we even have the Dryad Arbor. Yikes. Sure. Maybe we get to do anything. Maybe we get to do anything. Yep. Okay. Talk to me. Okay, deck. Okay. Can make it to this Llanowar Visionary. That would be pretty good too. Okay, we untap with Druid. That means Nissa. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna block. Thank you. All right, so we have some maths to do here. So it's all about mana optimization here. So we're going to play Nixus, and we're gonna play Nissa, but this taps for 4 mana, 5. Then we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So this is gonna tap for 2, and then the Nixus is gonna activate. What can happen? Yeah, so I guess let's start with that. So we're gonna put a +1/+1 counter. My opponent just completely F6. They're like, I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. This makes 5 mana. Let's start with Visionary. So we want to draw a card, have more info. Because what we can do here is we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This taps for 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's play Devoted Druid. Let's blast on this land. We're going to serve. think I'm just gonna play in. Like, Nissa has so much loyalty. It's great. Next turn we can go nuts with this Leyline of Abundance. That's the powerful thing about this card, right? Like it's both an enabler and the win condition. Because once you start making insane amounts of mana like we're gonna do next turn, then you can start pumping your team. So just by like having stuff on board, like you're just doing great. That's what my opponent's gonna do. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll take it. Deck's perfect, right? Maybe on the draw I want to cut it. Eternal Witness. For another dork. Just so we don't run out of stuff to do, basically. Not run out of stuff, just so we don't get run over is what I mean. Ballista also does not seem particularly great in the matchup. Got a ley line, we got dorks, we don't have lands, we'll probably still keep it. Opponent kept 7, so don't have high hopes for my dorks surviving. But if they do though, it's gonna be great. Land. It's not very good. Here's an Eldest Mystic, and now it's your turn. Lavadard is obviously the absolute worst case scenario, as it always is with this deck. Land, please. Oh, not good, not good. I mean, it seems like I have to keep a hand like this, right? It just kind of feels like I just have to get lucky in order to win this matchup anyway. Like I just have I need my opponent to not have it. And it seems like they did. Land. Okay. Not too much to talk about that there. we just roll over and never did anything. My opponent had the Lava Dart every single game, so it's not like we had too much of a shot. I stand by my keep because like this is a keep that like even if I find a land, just any land at all, we're able to do something, right? Like between the double Devoted Arena, we just saw how powerful Nissa is, even against this deck with a bunch of removals. So like we had a plan. It just obviously did not come together because we just needed to draw lands at any point, and it just didn't happen. Round number 4 incoming. See you there. Welcome to round number 4. Sure. Turn 1 dork. Turn 2 dork that draws a card. Sure. My opponent says good luck, I have fun. I always answer back when my opponents are nice. Okay, what do we got here? What are you gonna do to my bird opponent? Duress. Turn 1 main deck Duress you. Okay, that's a statement. Obviously we want to play the one that my opponent knows about to hide the information of our draw step. I mean, we get to Nissa next turn if my opponent doesn't interact with my board, so another Duress. What is my opponent doing over there? Why are they playing 2 main deck Duresses? One was not enough. Thoughtseize also. Jeez. Okay. My opponent does not like my hand. Also, that's the typical thing too, right? Whenever anybody says good luck, have fun. Obviously, the joke is that anybody that says good luck, have fun is gonna turn you, turn 1 you, or like do something like that, you know? This definitely seems like. Okay, I was gonna say this seems like 8 rack, but uh, I I just don't know what to think anymore. Take one here. It's a ballista. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can play a ballista for 3. I mean, this is gonna get discarded anyway, right? So I guess I'd rather make sure that I get value from my cards. Like, we're gonna take not that much damage. I guess like 3. We're taking 2 here. We have a land in hand, which my opponent doesn't know about. So if they like duress again, I mean, duress is such a bad card though. Oh, they have the Croxa. Yeah, we're in trouble here. We're in trouble here, folks. Let's throw the Scavenging Ooze. Like, let's throw one of Scavenging Ooze right here. That would be delightful. Not gonna attack here because we're gonna put counters on the ballista and then we're just gonna kill this. Oath of Nissa is okay. Let's see what we got. Nothing too great. I guess I'm drawing and playing the Devoted Druid here. 1, 2, Devoted Druid, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. No, actually, gotta make sure that we do it like this. We play the Devoted Druid first, and it's gonna be 4 devotion. Then we can do this, put a counter on the ballista, and now we serve with the ballista. So we ping for 4. I don't want them to have a fetch and be able to Croxa here, so we're gonna see what they do. But this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. I mean, I guess I have to do this, don't I? Just gonna kill this little dude. Please don't have a fetch. Please don't have a fetch. Don't Croxa me. Scavenging Ooze off the top one time. Extirpate my Nissa. That's completely irrelevant, but the fact that they're getting back the Croxa is just massive. In fact, can I beat the Croxa? I need to draw exactly Primal Command. Why do they... My opponent might be playing a budget deck. That is honestly the only reasonable explanation. Well, what do you got for me, Oath? Green Ponder, let's go. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Although at this point, I don't think I have draws. Yeah. Okay, we're playing against 8 rack. Wow. Just... wow. All of these cards seem great, right? But we definitely want to play some Veils. It's got a couple of dorks. I have to assume Liliana too. So Drydiver has extra utility. Seems like if we ever get somewhat going, my opponent can never keep up, so that is definitely what we're looking for. Maybe I should be cutting Genesis Hydra, because it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to make a Genesis Hydra big enough. That's not good enough. Also, I should have chosen to be on the draw. That was a mistake on my part. This hand is very strong, though. You very often want to choose to be on the draw against Adrak because the card just matters so much more. Matters a lot more than the tempo loss. That's a terrible, terrible draw. Such a bad draw. Always the same problem whenever you play Dreadiver in your deck, right? Very real cost for playing Dreadiver. I think I'm gonna fetch for my Stomping Ground here. That was kind of nice though that my opponent rested there because it allows me to play on curve a lot better. Probably not very good. I'm definitely just playing Visionary here. We get to put a Dork in play. We get to draw a card. We get sort of a 2-for-1. We definitely would like to dodge another duress or anything like targeted removal is what we care about here. We don't care about. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. I'm doing the Stomping Ground because I guess Field of Ruin. Maybe this doesn't make sense. I'm gonna push. Sure. I was expecting to get in there just so I could trade with this Gifted Aether bonus. Kind of not a big deal though. I could have played the Devoted Druid, that was the other line. Swift End kills the Nissa. That's brutal. Yep, we were fine until that one. We were fine until that one. Do we risk it? Do we risk it for the biscuit? I think I'm gonna play double Devoted Druid and hold on to the Dreadiver to discard to a Croxa or something. Oh man, that was such a devastating duress. So this is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but Jukapog doesn't do anything. It makes my Ewits worse, I guess. But like, I'm just gonna get Ballista anyway, so I can make my Ewits good. Don't Thoughtseize me. Okay, the Rack. The Rack seems kind of fine here. Looking for Nissa. That would be the best draw. Guess I'll take Scavenging Ooze here. One, two, three. So we're gonna play the Ballista first. And again, I'm holding onto the Dreadiver in case they have like a Liliana or a Croxa or something. I could have Thoughtseize, which would be very bad for us, but Seems good. So I guess they just want to race me with the rack. They have 2 cards in hand. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do it for 7, right? Because this allows me to find a Nissa. That's awful. I mean, we do get a 5/5, so it's not the end of the world, I guess, but kind of not what I was hoping for. It's definitely hoping for something a little bit more impactful there. We have to remember that we can kill these 2 at any point we want if we need to gain life for the Scavenging Ooze. So we definitely have to keep that in mind. Opponent seems to be flooding a little bit over there. And here I think I'm just gonna chomp. Like, I don't need the extra mana. And even more so, like, this feeds my Scavenging Ooze, so even more of a reason to be doing this. Oh. Well, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can fetch for... We could also just... my opponent showed me multiple duresses. I mean, just putting a land back on top just seems so good for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put the land back on top. We swing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put permanent above a Sonorous Library and non-creature. Search for a creature. We don't even take any damage here. Seems strong. Seems strong. We don't take any damage from the rack, and they did nothing last turn, so we have to assume that they're gonna do nothing this turn as well. Just replay the land. Wonder what the last card is. Maybe an Extirpate? It could be an Extirpate. Take 2. It's perfectly fine. Take 0. We have amassed enough stuff for me to be feeling pretty safe here. Unless they have a Damnation effect, obviously. If they have like a Damnation style effect, we're... I guess we're still kind of okay, though. Get my life, eat my dude. You got the Damnation. We just swing for lethal here, right? Oh, a tapping mana. It's a croc, so that's not enough. Even if we were pitching a land here, we can still, in response to the Crocsat trigger, we can still gain life in our upkeep, so we don't lose to the rack. Interesting sequencing with my opponent going for the Vijukibok pre-combat. Pretty cool. Take 1 damage. Same for lethal. Game 3. Kind of flooded a little bit over there. My opponent did, that is. That Veil of Summer was all obviously good too. They don't. They have Swift End. Because of Swift End. Should I be playing? Thinking about adding Gargroth to my deck. I mean, they have the Death Touching guy, right? Like, that kind of sucks. Opponent chooses to be on the play. Seems like an okay hand. I would love to have a turn 1 play. Yeah, okay, that's a problem. Sand, well, very good against duress. Thoughts is kind of rough here. The good thing is that if we find the Llanowar Elf, wow, they take the card. Okay, so they have to have Surgical or the other thing. If we play Fetchland, we can get Dread Arbor, meaning that he taps for 3 mana on turn 2, but we have nothing to use the 3 mana on, so I don't think there's a need to expose our land to get just, you know, Fatal Pushed. So I think that we're just getting extirpated here, which kind of sucks, honestly. Yep, no, the rest. Oh. Huh, okay. Because they're just going after the threats. But this is kind of a threat. Kind of seemed like it would be better for them to go after the Void Druid. Thoughtseize. Okay. One, two. Just play a fetch and say go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4. And I guess it's free for us to put a counter on this on the Dread Arbor. What is this? Liliana Waker of Waker of the Dead. Discards a card, your opponent can't loses 3 life. Turn works now, cards. Okay. So it's a removal spell. That kind of sucks. Good thing is that we get to use Dread Arbor to kill my opponents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough. Just let it go. Get to kill their walker. Oh, kill their walker or resolve a Karn. Because we can resolve a Karn and Pine Needle this. I think I'm gonna resolve the Pine Needle. Like, it just seems so important to resolve this thing. Liliana, Waker of the Dead. This is also good if my opponent has a second copy of that Liliana, right? Next turn we can plus on this, attack the Liliana. It's cute. Croxa's brutal. We might have to Tormod's Crypt here to get rid of the Croxa guy. Because I kind of want to attack the Liliana. I know that it's not doing anything. But it just being in play, it's kind of a pain. So I'm just gonna fetch forward to get Tormod script here. And they don't have enough, so I guess if they have exactly extirpate and they have land plus extirpate, I wouldn't gain priority to exile the Tormod script, which is kind of funny, honestly. Damnation. Well, now this seems perfectly fine to me. Play a dork. Getting there, Pine Needle. And I think we're just cracking this Tormod script right now. If they want to kill the needle, whatever. We can cash in this Karn for a Worm Coil. Well, I guess we're 1 mana short of casting the Worm Coil. Never mind. The Devil. Oh, easy. This game is so easy. This game is so freaking easy. It feels like we're probably doing okay here. Sure. I think they're born. So this taps for 2. We untap it. It taps for 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we ley line. Puts the counter on my dudes, and it puts the counter on the bird. I don't think I attack. 3, so we're 1 mana short. They show me Damnation though. I think we actually do attack. Can we activate twice next turn if we don't attack? So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, okay, so if we don't attack next turn, we can actually swing twice. Activate twice, sorry. My opponent wants to attack the Nissa. That's fine. Swift 10. So this is free to play. Now this only tap for 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we actually do have to raise, kind of, right? 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Opponent's gonna block one of them. We're gonna do this. Activate. We're gonna trade there. But I have to start putting in clock, unfortunately, because my opponent just showed me Damnation, right? So I can't just sit here and wait for my opponent to Damnation. Jeez. What does this even do? Each opponent discards the card and loses 2 life. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste at the end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step if it has combat cost of 3 or less. That sucks. It's very strong. This is not that strong, but like it's cute. It's okay. We don't have enough this turn, so we're just going to kill that and attack them. I think we're looking okay here, though. We've drawn fairly well. I know our opponent's deck seems kind of sus a little bit. Let it work, Visionary. One, two, three, four, five. Start here. So 6 mana. We untap this guy. We activate this. Now we have a blocker for the Murderous Rider, and we get to clock them for 3, sorry, down to 2. Damnation or bust. To be fair, if they do find the Damnation, we may just lose, actually. That would suck. I will block. Show me the Damnation. Show me the Damnation and we play on. That one doesn't do it. So I just attack in the air. This is 7. We can play Nixos, which would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just do this. The interaction between Leyline and Devoted Druid is pretty nice. You get to basically reset your Druid a bunch of times. I'm trying to see if I can maximize my mana, and if maximizing my mana makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it does. We have exactly 8 here. And if they have push, they push here, we swing, they block here, they lose their creature, they gain 2 up to 6, take 5 down to 1. So this seems fine to me. Okay. Got there. That was kind of fun. Definitely got very lucky that we drew our cards when we did, and when Nissa came down, like by the time my opponents Angrath and their Swift End and the dude, whatever the name of the dude is, by the time those guys came down, it was just too late and we were just too far ahead. Because Nissa is just busted in Modern too. Who would have known? See you in the next one. Now, next and last round. Here we are for the last round, fighting for the 3 and 2. Gonna keep this hand. Turn 3 Nissa on the play. Strong enough for Pioneer. Obviously strong enough for Modern, right? They're basically the same format. Don't thoughts is me. Oof, okay. That one's fine. That one cannot touch the Nissa. Voted Druid down. I guess because of that, there was an argument for playing the Elvish Mystic on turn 1 because it gives me 1 point of damage. Basically, I missed out on a point of damage for no real reason. Blue and black. Well, here's nothing. We're obviously running into Mana Leak, but I don't think that things are necessarily getting better for me. Like, I don't know what my opponent's in, and I'm forcing them to have exactly Mana Leak there. Because, like, if they have stuff like Stubborn and Up, they're playing Shadow and they have a bad hand, or like they went blue and black, right? Like basic swamp into basic island. I have no idea what my opponent's doing. They might be playing the canister deck. Okay, so it looks like they are. So I guess we're gonna play Llanowar Visionary here. Vendilion Click. Alright. My opponent's living the life out there. They are living the life. Surprisingly, they let me keep my cards. They could have taken the Llanowar Visionary, but if they draw me into like a Karn or something, things kind of spiral out of control very quickly, right? So I guess I serve. Like, I don't care about discards, right? Like, if my opponent has a push, like, that's fine. If they have Snapcaster, like, I don't care about discards. So if they want to Snapcaster either of this, like, that's just fine with me. Creeping Tar Pit. Are they just playing, like, straight up fairies? Well, that would be something else. They might be playing straight up fairies. Wow. I don't really like that play right there. Seems a little bit desperate. Which, I mean, it's good for me, right? Like, it shows me that their hand just is not very good. But now the Scavengers gets to serve, which is obviously great for us. I'm not gonna play around sweepers, but I'm gonna hold up the 1 green mana for Scavengers activation. You're gonna need a push this turn. We are quickly we're quickly in push or bust territory, I think. Like, if this Scavengers connects just one more time, my opponent's gonna be in really tough shape. That's a very good draw. Very, very good draw. So they can Cryptic tap the team here. Or not. Let's serve with these two. See what my opponent does. Snapcaster. You got it. So now we're going to be able to play the Karn. Like they're trading and they keep growing my use, but I guess they're kind of forced to do it. Can pay for mana leak. Opponent just backs it in. Okay, sweet. So blue-black fairies. Veil of Summer seems particularly good against the fairies deck. Bloodmoon is almost kind of interesting. Gargaroth also sounds like something I might want to be doing. I guess I'm good. Should I keep the birds for blocking? No, I think on the Elantry I should the 1 point of toughness. Like it seems like it might be relevant. Like we just saw how I was clocking my opponent very effectively there. Visionary seems great. Witness seems great. Ballista seems nuts. We just not play the Gargs. Big Gargs. Kind of like the Gargs. Sure. I think we keep this. It's bad against turn 1 discard spell, but or if we don't find any land, obviously, but looks pretty solid otherwise. Fairies in 2021. My opponent is the real hero in this story. Let's not fool ourselves. We should all be cheering for my opponent. We are playing a 20 land deck. We are playing a 20 land deck, so missing land drops is a thing. The good thing is that if that Thoughtseize doesn't resolve, it's kind of whatever anyway. if the Veil doesn't resolve, I mean, like if it resolves, it's great. Like we draw a card deeper, like we're fine. But if it doesn't resolve, it's just like doesn't really do too much. That push is gross though. Land, please. Nope. Snapcaster. Ugh. Entrancing Melody. It's kind of hot. Can they steal my Dryad Arbor? Land? What? What? Yeah, I guess they can steal my Dryad Arbor if they want to. Bird. No. You were on my team. Bitter Blossom. My opponent really is living the dream over there. Okay, these Thoughtseize doesn't really do anything. It just speeds up my clock a little bit. And it tells me that they don't have Mana Leak, which is good. They might have Push, but it tells me that they don't have Mana Leak. They could also have Spell Snare. And the fact that they used Snap on this is good for me. Because they didn't like Entrancing Melody. Still no lands. Still no lands to be found. Kind of a cute art. If they attempt to flashback in Transhumility, we can just basically put 2 counters on this to kill it. But if this Devoted Druid survives and I get to untap, we might be able to do stuff. Second Snapcaster is gross. Second Snapcaster is gross. Okay, we are gonna get to do this trick. We also tap my opponent out entirely. So it's safe to say that they probably don't have anything over there. It's also possible that they have another Snapcaster and they wanted to make the most mana efficient play there. Definitely an option. Okay, we're drawing lands now. And we're probably going to slam this Nissa next turn. And if the Nissa is good, then we kind of go off. Oh, never mind. That's not the end of the world. Obviously no blocks. I need this for mana. I don't understand the no attack with the Snapcaster Mage though. Oh wow. Jeez. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter, but also jeez. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're basically free to do whatever the hell we want, because my opponent has 1 card, so we are not afraid of force. So. This is 2 mana. And this is a Nissa. Then we untap this. Now this is 3 mana, 4/5. They're probably gonna attack my Nissa with their 4/4, their 2/1, and their 2/1. So what can we do? We can Primal Command the Bitter Blossom back to the top of the deck. If we do that, they deal with our Nissa. We can Genesis Hydra for 3, hoping to hit a random card. The good thing is, I think that we're gonna do that, because that puts a blocker into play. If they want, like, we can luck sack and we can find like a Llanowar Elf here off the top. That would be ideal, Llanowar Elf, or like Birdie, just like any 1-drop basically. The idea being just so we can chump block this guy. Okay, we whiffed. Yeah, this doesn't put lands into play, which is honestly an absolute disgrace. But the idea here is obviously just to protect the Nissa, or if my opponent has a push, they're forced into push this instead of pushing my forest, which means that I get to untap with mana again. A little bit unfortunate there, but it kind of is where it is. Second Bitter Blossom. We're obviously chomping the big guy. We would very much like to untap with our Nissa. Oh, they have another one? Gross. They have another one. Why are they not bouncing Snapcaster Mages? That makes no sense to me. They also tap themselves out of blue. Okay, so they do get to clear the Nissa. They lost a bit of loss of token for no reason. And they also lost the other Sareth, and now my Genesis Hydra survives. Yeah, that was not a good play from my opponent. That was not the line they needed. And now we can time walk them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, we can just time walk them. I guess that we have a free attack. So let's start with a free attack. Let's start with a free attack, which is with the forest, because they don't have any blockers, right? Do I want to... Yeah, I guess I want to chomp with the Genesis Hydra, so this is fine. Now we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna put non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. And then we're going to find Turn of Witness. And now we're going to play Ewit. Now the question is, so they're drawing a Bitter Blossom. We're playing Ewit. I think we're getting back the Nissa, actually. If we get back the Nissa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we just get 1,000,000 mana. Like, this just sounds great. Let's go, baby. Now we have good blocks. They're gonna have fairy tokens here. So this block's here, this block's here. We take 3. Not a good draw. So next turn they're gonna have 1, 2, plus the 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Just getting there first. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nissa. One, 2, 3, 4, Karn. So if they have Cryptic Command, that's the way that I lose this game. Exactly, Cryptic Command. Can we play around Cryptic? We just Ballista. Because if we Ballista, we deny them the lethal damage. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should have one more forest. Yep. now we wait. Yeah, sweet, awesome. Obviously we played against like a couple of casual decks, so not the most fierce competition if you ask me. But that was fun. Like we got to do some very cool stuff with the deck. The issue obviously is the let me find the actual list. There we go. The Lavadar decks, right? Like the Lavadar decks are really tough, just kind of by design. Like we have so many X1s, and we kind of rely on our X1 surviving. We played against a couple of Push's deck, and Push's decks seem like a lot easier to beat because, first of all, they don't clock you as fast. And second of all, because like they're just using one card and they're just using their push to kill your Elvish Mystic the same way that they would kill your Scavenging Ooze, or the same way that they would kill like whatever, right? So like it's not that bad there, unless we have, again, we're playing the 20 land deck, so we're not playing that many lands, and it's, when you draw multiple Nykthos it's brutal, when you draw Dryad Arbor it's kind of brutal too, so maybe we should be treating this deck as a 21 deck, and we should consider Dryad Arbor over here. There's also the possibility that we shouldn't run Dryad Arbor to begin with, but like the interaction with Leyline is real, right? Like it's no joke. Like just being able to turn your fetches into effectively Ancient Tomb, like it's nothing to scoff at. So this deck is fun. This deck is fun, and I think it has the potential to do something interesting. I don't think it's properly built. I think I'm very far. Like this have been just my first couple of matches with them. And even still, we managed to 3-2 twice. Again, competition was but still, like, it is definitely an interesting shell, and you get to do some really silly things sometimes, right? Like we went turn 1, Lano or Elf, and we showed like Leyline, and then that was just like that. That's a turn 2 card. Boom, there you go. Which is one of the reasons why I was playing Vivian in the beginning. In my very first list, I was running Vivian because it's just so powerful as a turn 2 play whenever you have a Leyline plus Dork opener. The issue is that card just wasn't that effective. Like we don't play that many creatures, and it was only very effective while you were already ahead. Like you had a board state and you were doing stuff, so it didn't feel like it was doing too much for me. So that's why I ended up cutting it in the end. But yeah, I mean, I think this deck has the potential to do something. I remember playing against a similar list in GP Austin, and it looked like what my opponent was doing a couple of times. It looked very, very impressive. I was playing Amulet, obviously, and my opponent was kind of able to keep up in value with me, and I'm like, what's going on? How is my opponent doing this with me? I think they were playing a version with Hydroid Crazes or something like that. So like these shells have been around, obviously. It's not like I just invented the wheel or anything, but I just thought that it was interesting to bring it back because of Karn, like because of how good Karn is right now in the current metagame, and how it attacks the specific decks that we are seeing resurgence, whatever. The decks are starting to come out now. Hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, see you for the next ice video. Take care. Bye.